Well, let's talk about some fun stuff here. So obviously the Raiders win. They go to 8-7 on the year, which was huge for them. I texted Micah during the Raider game, and I said, I think I'm addicted to the ESPN NFL playoff machine. If you haven't checked it out, essentially what it is you can go through the ESPN app on your laptop, on your phone, click on the playoff machine, and what it has is the playoff standings as it sits right now with everyone kind of bucketed. But because there's, as we've talked about, tiebreakers, there's a lot of hodgepodge, especially in the AFC. You can go through the results of the next 2 weeks, there's 2 weeks left in the season. You could say, okay, well, what happens if the Chargers win this, the Bills win that, whatever it is, right? And so you can kind of go through there and see if the Raiders do win, where they would come into play, right? So winning on Sunday was basically our best chance at staying in the hunt. I think we would have had some small percentage, but would need a lot of help. And also I think what I realized is that I was very adamant about this when I was talking about tiebreakers and stuff. I realized I don't know what tiebreakers actually are, because I was like, hey, if we beat you and you're ahead of us, we're ahead of you. I'm like, that's fair, right? Fairsies. But there's a lot more that goes into it. But I'll try to cleanly roll through this here. And it's actually pretty straightforward as far as what we need to do to get into the playoffs. But so just to recap, last week didn't start off too hot as far as the teams that we needed to lose. So the Titans ended up beating the Niners Thursday night. They were ahead of us in the AFC, needed them to lose. Not a big deal. Packers take down the Browns, so that was great. But then also the Colts were able to beat the Cardinals, which we did not need. But when Sunday came around, a couple big games happened. Bengals took care of business with the Ravens. Bills did beat the Patriots, but we weren't really factoring them in because they, whether it was the Bills or the Patriots, I don't think we're going to be able to jump them. And then obviously a big game for us, which I don't think anyone anticipated, was the Chargers losing to the Texans in Houston. I did say any given Sunday it could happen, and I guess somehow it did. That was a very interesting game, but huge for us and something we didn't forecast. And then also later in the afternoon, the Chiefs took care of business with the Steelers. So as it sits right now, guys, the Raiders are they're the number 10 seed. Okay. They're still the number 10 seed. But we're tied with the Chargers, Ravens, and Dolphins. The Dolphins have the 7 seed. They won last night, which didn't help much. And so, like I said, I don't understand tiebreakers, because I'm like, well, the Chargers I get because they beat us head to head. The Ravens, I'm like, we beat the Ravens and we beat the Dolphins. But how it works is, because the Chargers have beaten us, they're ahead of us. The Ravens are ahead of the Chargers because they beat the Chargers. And even though we beat the Ravens, they beat the Chargers. So they have the tiebreaker over us. Okay. And then the Dolphins, they win the tiebreaker over the Chargers because of best winning percentage in common games. And then they win the tiebreaker over the Ravens. And even though we beat the Dolphins, they're ahead of us. Okay. So somehow it's because we lost the Chargers. Now the other teams that have beaten the Chargers or whatever have a tiebreaker over us. So a lot of things that I didn't calculate. I thought it was just like, we beat you guys, we should be ahead of you. Okay. But just going into this week, we're going to be playing the Colts. We'll preview that for you guys a little bit later this week. But if we win the next 2 games, we're in. Okay. That's about as straightforward as possible. If we win, if we beat the Colts, we beat the Chargers, we're in. Okay. What I'll do is I'll continue to go down the rabbit hole of the playoff machine and go through the intricate ways of, if let's say we split Colts Chargers one way or the other, what that looks like, what we would need to happen. But as it sits right now, the Raiders, they win, they're in. That's what it comes down to. The Chargers are playing the Broncos this week. So they're playing the Broncos, and then we also have the Ravens who are playing. The Ravens are playing the Rams, and so who knows about Lamar? The Rams still have a lot to play for. They still need to win the NFC West. So if they take care of business, I think the Raiders are in a good spot. And I'll say it again. I don't anticipate the Chargers losing to the Broncos any given Sunday. It could happen. I'm going to continue to say it that way. So hopefully it works. But there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different scenarios, cluster of an AFC. But Raiders win the next 2 they're in, and I'll start getting maybe some graphs for you in different intricate situations of what's going to happen for us. And it'll be obviously a lot clearer once we get to the final week of the season, all that needs to happen for us to clinch a playoff spot, because we just need to get in the tourney. That's all we need.
Yeah, and I'll actually touch on a little bit for you on the potential of us, losing one of our 2 games. If we lose to the Colts this week and the Broncos beat the Chargers, we still have a chance, because we also need the Ravens to lose one of their next 2 games, the Steelers to lose one of their next 2 games. They also play each other. So, there's a lot that's going on. But if we lose to the Chargers next week, we're out no matter what. Like, there is no, if the Chargers beat us, there is no us making it in, regardless. I'm pretty
sure. Last game of the year?
The last game of the year.
Okay.
If we lose to the Colts this week, we still have a chance, albeit it goes low and we, got to have some help. But that's the only way that we can potentially make it into the playoffs and not win out, is losing this week, the Chargers losing this week, a couple other things too. So, like you said, we went out, we're in. That's what they need to focus on, and that's what they need to go out there and do. So, but I think we should just continue to touch on this every week, and obviously we're all about, like, talk me into how we can make the playoffs, so we can do that and mess around with that and see how things go after this next week. But yeah, just to add a little bit extra, I noticed that the other day, or last night, I think I was looking at things and someone did an article on the important games for the Raiders to watch if they end up losing to the Colts, and the most important one was Broncos Chargers. So
got it. Go Broncos.
Yes. That being said, if we lose and the Chargers win, we're done no matter what. So
okay. So let's see.
So we'll take it on. I'd really just bury the lead on any possible talk about this next week, but
no, that's fine. I mean, I think I was so far into it that I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. And you're like, hey, this is all it is. So
well, yeah, it's only because I saw someone else did the math on it, so it definitely wasn't me.
It's okay.
I think it was Raiders Beat. Shout out to Raiders Beat. Their website, someone wrote an article on it. So
thank you, Raiders Beat. Now the Raiders need to go beat the Colts.
Yes.
Broncos, go beat the Chargers. Take care of business. We need you guys. But
they beat them once already this year. So
did they?
I'm pretty sure they beat him. Teddy Bridgewater beat him, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I mean, I'll trust you there.
I think Bridgewater might be back potentially. Concussion protocol. So if there's any time for him to make a comeback and Drew Lock to be out of there, now's the time.
We eliminate you guys and then go take care of the Chargers to not eliminate us. That's how it works. That's all. Yeah. Also,
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, that's also true. People forget that. Cool. Well, yeah, good job. I mean, hey, we have hope, guys. Okay, we have some hope. We need to take care of business, but yeah, great dub for the Raiders. Raider Nation, hang on. Okay, hang on for this wild ride. Dive into that ESPN playoff machine. Just mess around, see how things go. But we got to go out to Indianapolis, take care of business. A lot to uncover as far as the COVID list. I know they have a lot of guys on their list as well for the Colts. So I don't wish that upon anyone, but we'll see how it turns out as far as players coming off throughout the week and what the matchup looks like for Sunday, 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. West Coast time. Set your clocks. Be ready to rock. Yeah, we'll see you guys for the preview later this week.